Student, Assalamu alaikum. Today our topic is macroeconomics. The term macro is derived from the Greek word macros, which means large. Macroeconomics, the other half of economics, is the study of the behavior of the economy as a whole. In other words, macroeconomics deals with the total or big aggregates such as national income, output and employment, total consumption, aggregate saving and aggregate investment, and the general level of prices. In the words of Boulding, macroeconomics deals not with individual quantities such as but with aggregates of these quantities, not with individual incomes but with the national income, not with individual prices but with the price level, not with individual outputs but with the national output. It studies the determination of national output and its growth over time. It also studies the problems of recession, unemployment, inflation, and balance of international payments and the policies adopted by the government to deal with these problems. Main issues in macroeconomics. The main issues which are addressed in macroeconomics are in brief as number one, it helps in understanding the determination of income and employment. Late J.M. Keynes laid great stress on macroeconomic analysis. He, in his revolutionary book, General Theory of Employment and Interest and Money, brought drastic changes in economic thinking. He explained the forces and the factors which determine the level of aggregate employment and output in the economy. Number two, determination of general level of prices. Macroeconomic analysis answers the questions as to how the general price level is determined and what is the importance of various factors which influence general price level. Number 3, economic growth. The macroeconomic model helps us to formulate economic policies for achieving long run economic growth with stability. The new developed growth theories explain the causes of poverty under developed countries and suggest remedies to overcome them. Number 4, macroeconomics and business cycles. It is in terms of macroeconomics that causes of inflation and national income are analyzed. It has also been possible now to formulate policies for controlling business cycles, that is, inflation and deflation. Number 5, international trade. Another important subject of macroeconomics is to analyze the various aspects of national trade in goods, services, and balance of payments problems, the effect of exchange rate on balance of payments, etc. Number 6, income shares from the national income. Mr. M. Kaliski and Nicholas Calder, by making departure from Ricardo theory, has presented a macro theory of distribution of income. According to these economists, the relative shares of wages and profits depend upon the ratio of investment to national income. Number 7, unemployment. Another macroeconomic issue is to explain the causes of unemployment in the economy. Stagflation is another important issue. The Keynesian and post-Keynesian economists are putting lot of efforts in explaining the causes of cyclical unemployment and high unemployment coupled with inflation and suggesting remedies to counteract them. Number 8, macroeconomic policies. Fiscal and monetary policies affect the performance of the economy. These two major types of macroeconomic policies are central in macroeconomic analysis of the economy. Number 9, global economic system. In macroeconomic analysis, it is emphasized that a nation's economy is a part of a global economic system. A good or weak performance of a nation's economy can affect the performance of the world economy as a whole. Limitations of macroeconomics. The main limitations of macroeconomics are as number one, macroeconomics ignores the welfare of the individual. For instance, if national saving is increased at the cost of individual welfare, it is not considered a wise policy. Number two, the macroeconomics analysis regards aggregates as homogeneous but does not look into its internal composition. For instance, if the wages of the clerks fall and the wages of the teachers rise, the average wage may remain the same. Number three, it is not necessary that all aggregate variables are important. For instance, national income is the total of individual incomes. If national income in the country goes up, it is not necessary that the income of all the individuals in the country will also rise. There is a possibility that the rise in national income may be due to the increase in the income of a few rich families of the country. Interdependence of micro and macroeconomics. The classical approach to macroeconomics is that individuals and firms act in their own best interest. The wages and the prices adjust quickly to achieve equilibrium in the free market economy. The Keynesian approach to macroeconomics is that wages and prices do not adjust rapidly and unemployment may remain high for a long time. The Keynesians are of the view that government intervention in the economy can help in improving economic performance. The micro and the macroeconomics are interdependent. They are complementary and not conflicting. We cannot put them in watertight compartments. Both these approaches help us in analyzing the working of the economy. If we study one approach and neglect the other, we are considered to be only half educated. We should integrate the two approaches for the successful analysis of the working of the economic system. The macro approach should be applied for where aggregate entities are involved, and the micro approach when individual cases are to be examined. If we ignore one and lay emphasis on the other, it will lead to the wrong or inadequate conclusions. It is enough for today. Allah Hafiz.